Greetings, brothers and sisters. Shalom, assalamu alaikum, adnastana. Pleasure to be back with you here on Points of Light Radio and continuing this journey of light and knowledge. If you recall, in the April 8th segment, 2023, to be exact, April 8th, 2023, we covered an organization called the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan. Right? And I always wanted to swing back to this organization to kind of keep them in our consciousness here. And in today's segment, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Now, just to give you some insight, because like I said, it's been a few years, okay? Just to give you some insight, the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan, or as they're sometimes known, the DOKKs, are a side degree of the Knights of Pythias. And we've covered them quite a few times here on Points of Light Radio. The DOKKs were founded in 1894. Membership in the Knights of Pythias is a prerequisite for membership in the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan. And a member is referred to as a votary. Now, the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan has an initiation ritual based on the motto, "Lift up the fallen." I like that. I really do. There are 2 degrees, to be exact: the Temple degree, which is given locally, and the Imperial degree, which is bestowed by the Imperial Palace. After initiation, each member receives a fez, right? The Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan meets in lodges known as temples, and by an imperial law or national resolution, each temple is required to take up a humanitarian cause. So, my guests tonight, you've seen them both here before, are David Costoe and Dylan John Callahan. They're both members of course, the Knights of Pythias and the Knights of the Korossan. And I can't wait, like I said, to feature this organization again. So, are you still thirsty for knowledge? Are you still searching for the light? Then you just trim your lamp and follow me. David Costoe and Dylan John Callahan. Okay, first of all, you were here first there, Dylan, so why don't you tell my listeners and viewers about yourself?
My name is Dylan Callahan. I live in Kansas, and as far as fraternalism goes, I'm a Knight of Pythias in the Missouri domain because Kansas doesn't have its own Grand Lodge. And I'm also a member of Abba Temple number 211, Dramatic Order, Knights of Korossan.
Okay. And David Costoe, why don't you tell me, my listeners and viewers about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Dave Costoe, and I'm multi-fraternal, to say the least. And but yeah, I'm an active member in the Sicilian Lodge number 39, Order of Knights of Pythias, and a active member in Abba Temple 211, and me and Dylan are in the same DOKK temple. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, David, you recently, like I said, joined the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan. What made you want to do that? What led up to that? Of course, you were Knights of Pythias before that, but...
Well, I do like a good fez, honestly.
Okay.
I really do. And no, I enjoy Knights of Pythias, and it's just a way to spend more time with my my Pythian brothers and my sisters, and so yeah, it was just kind of a natural progression, I think, just to be able to spend more time with them. I think one of the things that really drew me to it is I feel like it's a real good, it's a really good tool to boost the Order of Knights of Pythias. To have a place where maybe some of our younger members coming in can go have fun together. They can go axe throwing, or they can go out to dinner, or go to a hockey game. They can all wear their fezzes, and they can go have fun and a night out on the town together. And I think it would be a good tool for the Order of Knights of Pythias to use the DOKKs to kind of do that.
Yeah, I think you agree. Like it, especially that walking around wearing that fez. That's like publicity in itself, right there. That really
Yeah.
raises the profile, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
So why aren't they using them that way?
Well, and for our temple, we only have a few members left. We probably have there's probably 6 of us, Dylan, you think, in Abba Temple?
Yes, 6 or 7, maybe 8 at this point. It's kind of hard to tell because sometimes you have folks that show up and sometimes they don't, and so who's actually active, hard to say.
Yeah. Uh, so it varies for us on in our age. There's the when I talk about younger members for us, it's just me, Dylan, a brother named Garrett Bird, and his lovely wife, who are the younger members of our DOKK temple. And we already spend lots of time together for Knights of Pythias, which we're okay with spending more time with each other. But what we're trying to do with Abba Temple is we're trying to establish a yearly initiation at the Grand Lodge of Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas Grand Lodge session, where we initiate brothers from all over the state into Abba Temple, and eventually, hopefully, they'll form another temple, maybe closer to their home. But we're using it as kind of a fun thing at the Grand Lodge, and those are some plans we have. And then, like I said, to use it as an order where maybe once a quarter we have a night out on the town with everybody, and we could put our fezzes on and go have some fun.
Okay. Now, tell a little bit about the dramatic order of the Knights of the Korossan. Tell us a little bit of like what I understand that its motto was lifting up the fallen.
Correct.
Now, how exactly do we do that? Like, what I know part of one of the things they try to do is have a charity that you donate to or something like that. Does your temple do that?
Well, currently, no, we don't have a charity that we're particularly, giving anything to. We're looking to establish that. But we don't right now. Like I said, we're just this year, we're in this kind of revitalization renaissance
Good.
type time right now. But the motto of the DOKKs is lift up the fallen. And I think it's a good message, and I think the ritual is really relevant to our day and age. I think the ritual is really relevant to what you might have to do with some of the members of the Knights of Pythias. And so, yeah, I think it's a relevant order for our time.
Okay. And now, do you see that? I was going to ask about that. In the degrees, I understand there's 2 degrees to it. For one, that of course that you have to go to Grand Lodge for, but that's the second one. But the first one, did you see that lifting up the fallen? Did you see that in those degrees?
Well, Dylan, I've been talking a lot. Do you want to hit this one?
uh, I'm probably not the best person to ask this question either, because I think what you're probably I've only actually been to about 3 meetings total since I
Yeah.
joined in 2023.
Yeah, fine.
But so you'll have the initiatory ritual, and then I think the second degree that you're thinking of,
You have to go to kind of a Grand Lodge or whatever Grand Temple.
yeah, so that would be the Imperial Palace, I believe.
But
So
did you
that I
see
have not
this
witnessed.
lifting the fallen? Did you see that in that degree, that initiation degree you got?
In the one I got, it was extremely abbreviated. It was the short form, and so there you kind of see the shortcomings of having a skeleton crew to begin with. But in the ritual books, which every member receives, you can see the full form ritual, which would involve at least a dozen people in full regalia, and it's a very elaborate and beautiful. I mean, if you're reading it at like a screenplay or something, it's a very beautiful performance that would be put on. But yes, there is a lesson. There's multiple lessons actually, but lifting up the fallen is the main lesson to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that message, lift up the fallen, is made very clear within the ritual.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, within your ritual. Now, what do you think, shall we say, the the dramatic order of the Knights of the Coruscant has to do to go forward? Do you think it would be similar to what the Muscovites did in the Oddfellows, where I wouldn't say they have to break away, but maybe they have to put this on somehow sort of video so that they could get more people in that way? Hold it via like a Zoom call or something like that, like they do the Muscovites?
I think that would not be the right play personally, just with the
Okay.
flavor of the group. So I think the best way to move forward with the Dokis is to really accentuate where the Dokis fit within the Pythian structure. So you have the main organization, Knights of Pythias, and of
Yeah.
course, Dokis is an auxiliary of it. We call ourselves in Dokis, it's called the playground of the order.
Yeah.
So if you kind of think of Knights of Pythias as the serious, down to business, here's where we're going to, extol all of these, Pythian virtues, with the playground of the order, having that cardinal view of lifting up the fallen and then having a camaraderie around that singular mission, you have a lot of leeway. You have a lot of latitude to be the fun group. So doing parades and hosting events or hospitality rooms for Knights of Pythias events, doing fundraisers in fun ways for hospitals and food drives and other things. So really accentuating that this is the fun aspect of Knights of Pythias, which is not to say Knights of Pythias isn't fun. It's an absolute blast. But having something specifically designated as this is the playground, I think knowing who you are as an organization is going to be that first major step in revitalizing it, like we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think doing it kind of like the Noble Order of Muscovites, how they're doing it right now, is the key. I do one of the things I do think is the key though is for and I think it's going to be different for every domain, of course, but for our domain, the key would be to our opinion is to host a Grand Lodge, initiation. I mean a Doki initiation at Grand Lodge, and where we have a lot of members already there, and bring them in and share with them with that fun camaraderie, and just make Knights of Pythias, an all around fun, meaningful, organization, a fraternal experience. And so anyway, that for us, I guess that's another thing. The other thing too is that for our Doki temple anyway, it's much cheaper to join Abba Temple 211 versus if you were to go join maybe the Shriners. We have Ararat Shrine around here, or so it's much cheaper to join Abba Temple versus Ararat Shrine. Now again, right, Ararat Shrine has a building. We don't have a building. So there's costs involved and things like that. So it makes sense probably why the shrine is more expensive. They're also doing a lot more charitable work than Abba Temple is doing. So doesn't mean that we can't be doing charitable work, because we need to be
Yeah.
doing some type of charitable work. So, but anyway, that's another thing too. So
How long, when
And
you talk
certainly in the
about
past we
doing,
have done.
go
yeah,
ahead, David, or Dylan, sorry.
I was just going to say, certainly in the past, Abba Temple has done a great deal of charitable work.
of
It's just
course.
in these last I would say probably about 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Just activity is that low. So
Now, when you say
100%. Sorry,
that,
I didn't make it to sound like Abba temples. Yeah, it used to be much bigger.
yeah.
They
Well,
did really good things.
but when you say an initiation at Grand Lodge, how long is an initiation?
Oh, I would say if you did the full form of the ritual, Dylan, it'd probably take close to an hour.
I was going to say about an hour and 15, hour 20,
Yeah.
just shy of an hour and a half, I think.
If you were to do the full form, it would take
Yeah.
probably at least an hour. Yeah.
Short form is what?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And we were
maybe,
trying to, for our temple, we were kind of trying to do more of um, a short long form.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
We
something
were
that they
trying to
could.
basically we don't have enough members to really put on the full long form, and so we were kind of doing um kind of I would say a half form. It's much longer than the short form that me and Dylan received, and consists of a lot more of the ritual, of course, um, but it's still shorter than the full form.
Yeah, and at least you would get people would that way. If you said that half an hour, 45 minutes instead of an hour and 15, most people will buy into that. And say, okay, we can do this.
Yeah,
So I think that's something you're going to have to look at your next Grand Lodge to do that because it does have it does sound like it's worth doing.
yeah.
So yeah, that sounds great. And like what? So if what would you say? What do you like most about being part of like the dramatic order of the Knights of Korossan? What do you think? What do you like most about being a DOKK?
For me, it's the possibilities. So, like I said, since I've joined, I haven't been very active, and the temple itself hasn't been very active. But
Yeah,
um, in in the not too distant future, I would certainly look forward to the possibilities. David and I have talked about the different things that are options and germane to the dramatic order. And so doing parades and like I said before, being a playground and just kind of exploring who we are as members, as votaries of our temple, and being ourselves, and looking forward to seeing other people doing the same. I think what I like most is the possibility, the
good.
Yeah.
possibility of it all.
Yeah, that's for me. I love being with my Knights of Pythian brothers. My Pythian brothers are some of my closest friends. And so just the ability to throw a fez on and go have fun with them seems like the best time ever. And so for me, that's what drew me into the order, for the dramatic order of Knights of Coruscant, and like Dylan was stating, just what we can do with it in the future as well. Um, we have a mix of Zoom meetings slash also in person meetings.
Mhm.
So we do both to,
That's
get
cool.
everyone involved and things like that. So we are using technology to our advantage and trying to be modern with it by saying, hey, if we, like we really need to meet, but at our next Knights of Pythias meeting, we all travel from far away for our Knights of Pythias meetings. And so one of the things that we're doing is instead of meeting after the meeting, because we've got some rank work to put on at our Pythian meeting, we're just going to meet on Zoom later that week. So for our DOKK temple, so we're working with it for right now. What we got to get to the point was where we can get enough guys together, start practicing the rituals, so we can put it on at our Grand Lodge and really start the process of reestablishing the prominence and beauty of Abba Temple.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time tonight, brothers, and all the best to you and ABBA 2211.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank you.
night. That felt good. featuring the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan again. You know, you've heard me say this before. When I tell you, you know, this is an organization that I've been wanting to feature for so long, and but you know, like a new organization, shall we say? You'll hear me say that about a new organization that we've never featured before. But even featuring an organization that it's, you know, like I said, in this case, we haven't featured in 3 years. Swinging back there and refamiliarizing myself with it always feels good, right? And of course, it was great having David Costoe and Dylan Callahan on here again. Those two are always welcome here, right? And of course, you probably know I've been on their podcast before, right? Nightlife. They had me on there once before. I hope you go see that. It's a Knights of Pythias podcast there. That was a great time as well. You know, I love having them, like I said, on here talking about stuff like that. Right, but here's the thing: you've heard me say this before. Back to the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan. You've heard me say this before about members who, you know, don't join any of the, shall we say, the appendant bodies or side orders of the organization. They really miss out. And I do feel that the Dramatic Order of the Korossan, the Dramatic Order of the Knights of the Korossan, is that kind of order that really does deepen the experience of anybody that is in the Knights of Pythias. So, I mean, if you are a member of the KOP, do yourself and your organization a favor and at least get this degree and try to open one of their temples in your area, because it, like I said, this has a lot to offer. It really does, by the sounds of things. And it would be a shame to lose the history and, of course, the fun of the DOKKs. It really would. And I'll say this right now. If anyone can rebuild the DOKKs, right, these two gentlemen that you saw tonight, they're the ones to do it, right? And of course, I hope their appearance here has helped in that effort, right? So we'll leave it there. Before I go, I want to remind you that this podcast is available on both YouTube and Spreaker. Please share, like, and subscribe when viewing Points of Light Radio on YouTube. And as I always tell you, I also welcome your comments and input. I also welcome the donations you make when you hit on the PayPal link that you see in the details section of this segment. You know, Points of Light Radio is not a sponsored driven podcast, so everything you see here is not, you know, does not have a sponsor behind it. You can see the link to my Facebook page at facebook.com/Points of Light Radio. My X handle is at PO Light Radio. My Bluesky handle is at POLightRadio.bsky.social. You can see the link to my Spotify channel as well as my Points of Light Radio store. Brothers and sisters, until we meet again, just step into the light.